And I think Faith and Samsara might be related, I'm not sure. Curious that at the end of the game Samsara is also there. It's not just the shepherd is waiting for you, like both of them are waiting for you. Although the ending, I mean, they don't talk to you though. That's a little bit odd. Like you have one guy trying to help you and the other guy trying to stop you. I think the ending might have been a little bit. I don't think they quite did what their ambition wanted to do. Because I'm like thinking, wouldn't it have been more interesting if they weren't so straightforward? Like, you know, it was obvious that the shepherd was helping you, and it was obvious that Samsara was trying to stop you. Would it have been better if they kind of tried to trick you, like if Samsara tried to trick you, or if the shepherd did things that weren't obviously helpful? But, you know, it would have been really complicated, right, if they actually had to do all of that. And I don't know, maybe, I'm just thinking maybe it would have been more interesting if the ending was a little more complex, a little more nuanced. Well, we're here, we're at the very start. And you can't jam anything at the start. We're playing hide and seek with the star. Yay! It's not in the water. I mean, it could be tiny switches. We have seen tiny switches, and we've seen like little floppy disks on top of columns. We've seen like really tiny things. Granted, those were Easter eggs, especially the floppy disk. But we have seen that it can be just a really small thing. Did I really write that? I guess I did. Like... Wait, I can't jump on that? Yes, I can. Well, this is the start. And there's no stars to be seen. Nothing on the columns. This could take a long time, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding you. This might take a very, very long time. I've been thinking about games with narrators that I hated. And the ones that stand out is this game, with the Milton Library Assistant. I mean, I hated Elohim too, but he's just an idiot. But it's just an idiot. I've hated the Stanley Parable. And I've hated the narrator in Bastion. And each time it's been that there were some serious flaws in their arguments that they didn't see. And of course, it being a video game, you couldn't explain it to them either, because it's not just the narrator making a mistake, it was the game designers making a illogical fallacy and putting it into the game without realizing it. And then, it's always been these games that other people have apparently really enjoyed the story of. But when I play them, I see these really big mistakes. In Bastion, it was the way the narrator kind of basically asks you to destroy the world and to commit genocide. Like, like he tells you to get these pieces from other people and from other things, and the other people are relying on these kind of pieces to like these kind of lead. I don't know what they're called again, but they're relying on these fragments of things to survive the cataclysm, and you just take it from them and ruin their lives. And we just casually do this because the narrator wanted to turn back time so the exact same cataclysm can happen again. So it's like all of that is completely morally wrong, in my opinion. Because the Bastion, our people in that game, your people were the ones who were committing genocide against the others, and the others managed to turn it around and destroy the entire world in the process, unfortunately. But that was our weapon. Like we were the bad guys in that game, and the game never really acknowledges that. And you just go around hurting everything else, and in the end, you just fly away. You either turn back time and solve nothing, or you just fly away and leave everybody else ruined. And that's a really bad story to tell. Like it's so completely and utterly irresponsible. And that's the story. And I just can't do it. I just can't agree with it. Wait a minute. Did I just... I swear the icon just appeared. Drop. Must be drop. Okay, it's drop. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a terrible... I mean, it's an interesting story, but we were terrible people, and the narrator is a terrible person. But then there's this whole patronizing thing he did. It's like, oh, kid, do what I tell you, kid, and then we'll be okay. There's a huge patronizing thing that he was doing, and it was just completely and utterly ugly and repulsive. And the game just doesn't do anything about it. It just says that's normal. It was so repulsive to me. And it was because I could see the flaws in the story. I could see that what he was actually telling us to do was to commit genocide against innocent people. But the game doesn't seem to realize that that's what it was doing. And the whole story just went through without ever acknowledging that. So yeah, it was a flaw in the story. It was the storytellers not understanding the story they were telling. And in this game, again, the library assistant, it all started really at the very beginning, when one day he asked you, or it asked you, the nature of humanity, and it gave you 5 bad answers. And immediately I could see that there were 5 bad answers, and none of them were even close to correct. But it was the answers the game gave you, it wasn't the answers that you chose for yourself. So then of course the answers are going to be wrong, and of course they're going to come back and say that's wrong. But that's so cheap, it's like, it's such a cheap setup. They give you bad answers, and then they critique their own bad answers. It's not like you came up with them yourself. It was like a multiple choice that they gave to you. And then, of course, the mistake they made with the assumption that value, like creating value and discovering value as being mutually exclusive, which makes no sense if you really think about it. Like, it doesn't take that long to think about it. Why would it be mutually exclusive to create value and to discover value? Why can't you discover value in some things and create value in other things? Of course you can. So even like it's quite it's not that complicated once you say it out loud, but they missed it. Like the author, the writer who write the dialogue missed it. And then I hated it. I hated the whole story because it was built on a foundation of what is actually quite a basic mistake, a basic error in logic that the game designers made, which is kind of unfortunate because most of the rest of the argument is quite good and quite secure, and they had good intentions too. You know, they had good intentions. The game is supposed to be teaching you to think for yourself, which is fine. And you know, most of the arguments are fairly good if you accept those early mistakes. But then you know, you have a good argument built on a crap foundation is what's happening. And so then nothing really stands up because the foundation was on these really kind of simple mistakes. And I don't know, if you couldn't identify them, maybe you would really have enjoyed the story. But I did see them. I saw them immediately. I saw those mistakes immediately, and then none of the story was even remotely plausible because it was a bad foundation to build the argument on. And it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame because everything else was pretty decent. You know, all the other stuff is pretty decent. And yeah, and that's I don't really know how to judge it because again, they had good intentions. Most of it was good. But you know, when I played the game, the whole thing was invalidated because of those early mistakes. And it was just I just couldn't, you know, it was impossible for me to invest anything in those conversations because it was all a joke, like it was all a bad joke. Because none of it actually made any sense. None of it actually stood up to any sort of scrutiny. But they had good intentions and they tried. Bastion. Man, genocide. I mean, and they couldn't see it. And I guess most people don't see it neither. Because a lot of people love that game. But you actually spend the game like there was a cataclysm. Some people barely survived the cataclysm, and you spend the whole game destroying those people's lives. That was the story. That was literally the story. And I guess most people just don't realize it. They just think, oh, we have to get these shards and build this time machine because this old man says to do so. And you're destroying other people's lives. Insane. It's just like the more I think about it, the more crazy it seems. And the patronizing. The patronizing. The fact that, you know, the narrator thinks he's right about everything when he's so obviously not. And there's nothing in the game to allow you to reject him. Or to say no. Or to do things differently. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I can't find the star, guys. I literally cannot find this star. I haven't looked inside the puzzles again. I guess we should, since we're here. I still can't find it. I can leave and look for other stars. I just want you to understand that I still can't find this one. And it's not that we're not looking. We are looking. I don't know. What am I looking? I don't even know what I'm looking for. You know, if I knew where the star was and I saw there's a door with like a blue laser thing on it, then okay, I'm looking for a blue laser. At least, you know, if it's that, then I know. Or I have some idea what I'm looking for. I have no idea what I'm looking for. I have no idea what I'm looking for. This seems a little bit promising. Like there's this stuff back here, right? There's a jammer. What can I point this jammer at? Like, is there something that I can jam that I don't realize? I mean, there's the cannon. Like, look at this stuff back here. Look at this little room back here. Is this not suspicious? Suspicious, right? But there's nothing else there, right? What's behind this? Nothing. And like this little area, like, suspicious. So suspicious. But there's nothing here, right? So suspicious. Yeah, so the conversations with the library assistant in this game, they just feel quite forced and unnatural and